This week on Community Watch, I am talking with Dr. Lisa Jellum, who is the Dean of, I'm going to read this, the Atrium Health Floyd School of Health Sciences. Y'all probably knew that already. Fountain of information, important information, fascinating stuff. You want to see the show. Community Watch starts now. Welcome to Community Watch. I am very happy to have with us today Dr. Lisa Jellum. I'm going to say hello first. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to take the next 20 minutes to relay your full title, which is Dean of the Atrium Health Floyd School of Health Sciences at Georgia Highlands College.
That's it. You crushed it.
Well, now see, you've already committed it to memory.
Right.
That's great. That must have taken a while.
It did. Now it just rolls right off the tongue.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, maybe by the end of the show I'll get better at it. But that's a very impressive title. And it is a title that has changed.
It has.
Recently.
Yep. So in the last year, we have fallen under a generous donation of a healthcare industry partner. And with that came the name change to recognize their generosity. So it's a big deal for schools because, you know, I'm kind of a nerd in that respect. I love going by buildings, but I've always wondered, like, you know, how the Williams Library, like who was the Williams family? Did that person just particularly like books? Like, how does that come about? And in higher ed, you know, things are named. It's a very prevalent process of naming, you know, people in endowed positions or schools. And so I'm super pumped to be able to, you know, later in life be able to say that I was, you know, at the inception of the Atrium Health School of Health Sciences.
And you say it so quickly and automatically, too.
Right.
I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about what it is about the School of Health Sciences that made Atrium Floyd Health interested enough to partner with. So I know it includes a lot.
Yeah.
So let's review all the things.
Sure. So everyone always likes a good story, so we'll start with that, right?
Okay.
Anyone who knows anything about Floyd Junior College or Georgia Highlands in general knows that two of the flagship programs that have, you know, allowed us to deep root ourselves into the community are through our nursing and our dental hygiene programs. There isn't, I know you know that by living in Northwest Georgia, there probably isn't a nurse or a dental hygienist that has not had some way, shape, or form, and or hospital or dentist that is not deeply rooted in the production of the workforce in that respect. And so the cool part of the story that we learned through the 50th anniversary of our nursing program last year, we had Becca Maddox come and give a lineage of what those 50 years looked like in nursing. And at that point, we had already been in conversations to really support our nursing program in ways that were monetary. We have widespread support for clinical placement and things that are, you know, very important to sustain a nursing program. That's the, you know, the thing that people don't realize is you need these clinical partners to be all in your program to allow our students to be immersed in areas of the hospital that strengthen their ability to be the thing that they're going to be. And so we have been so fortunate in the last 52 years to have a very supportive hospital structure in Rome, Georgia. Many different hospitals, you know, all the different names that we've been throwing around. And what the cool thing is, once we got into the partnership agreement, we learned that 52 years ago, Atrium Health Floyd, which was then Floyd Hospital, actually had our nursing program as a certificate program that was very prevalent of the 70s, 60s for hospitals to be basically growing their own nurses. And so at some point they grew a little too big for the hospital to support. So at that time, the CEO of the hospital presented to our then president, could you take our program and support it out at Floyd Junior College? And that's really where the inception of our nursing program began. And so it feels a little bit like coming full circle. 52 years, we're coming back to that same hospital by gaining financial support and clinical placements and all of the things that started 52 years ago, really kind of being theirs. And so it feels very cyclical in nature. It feels very I don't know what the right Englishy term would be to that, but it just felt right.
I think the English term is probably cool.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
It's very cool.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
So the nursing program over the years has also grown and developed into different things.
Yep.
But all along, I mean, as far back as I remember, and I actually was at Floyd Junior College because I'm ancient, it was always a program that had remarkable, consistent success.
Yep.
And our students passed, I guess they still call them the boards, with remarkable rates. I mean, really, for a program to be so solid,
Yep.
It's crazy.
And some of that, so obviously we know this. I've been here now 17 years.
Oh, you're still big.
It's always funny when things come all the way. Well, we tried that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that is a great combination, honestly. And I don't know if I had as much respect for that when I was on the outside. We know our nursing faculty are top notch. We know our nursing faculty do great work because the numbers and all of that. But that's only half the story, and that's what the cool part about partnering with a entity like Atrium Health and our other clinical placement places is that our students need the real world experience, and we can't create that using simulation, and we can't create that using lectures or videos. We really do have to have strong partners that do things well and right in the hospital setting to allow our students to be able to see this is the way that I'm supposed to do that. And that does directly translate to our high, what they now call the NCLEX, RN. Our high scores in that area are a direct reflection of both sides working together. Us being able to tell the hospital what we need, and the hospital being able to tell us the things that we can improve on, and opening that reciprocity agreement for 53 years. Really, like you said, it's been a really strong program. I have the easiest job in the world. I go around and I just, point to my name tag, and people instantly are congratulating me on, their grandmother, their grandfather, their dental hygienist, their nurse, coming from our program makes you feel really good. And it doesn't really matter where I'm at in Georgia. I have recently given a state Senate study committee speech all the way, on the other side of Georgia, where one of the CEOs stopped and said, "I love the Georgia Highlands nurses." And you got to remember that's 200 and some odd miles from where we're standing today, where people are recognizing the excellence that has happened here for 52 years. So I'm really lucky in that respect. I have a great product to brag about.
Now, a few years ago, we started a bachelor's program in nursing. So currently, I believe we have the career associate program and the bachelor's both.
So we do, and being a previous dean, the idiosyncrasies that come with curriculum. But we currently have a pre-licensure program, which it would be the correct kind of way to think about this. We have our pre-licensure career pathway, which is the one that's been around for 52 years. And in recognition, about 12 years ago, we started to recognize that the bachelor prepared nurse was becoming the most recruited nurse. Now, that isn't common because of COVID and the nursing shortage. So we incepted an RN to BSN, which is a completion of all other courses that a BSN nurse would take. So they're licensed in the hospital, making money while going to their RN to BSN. And we've done a very good job of advising our students. So our typical RN to BSN student is only taking courses for 10 months to get their BSN.
What? Seriously? My goodness.
Yeah, so we...
So it's a fast program.
It is a fast program. And a lot of people misrepresent that. I didn't admittedly know all of those things before becoming dean. Our RNs are RNs, and so you would never know if you had a bachelor level prepared nurse or an associate level prepared nurse unless you're looking at leadership positions within the hospital. And so our nurses are graduating with their 70 credits, going right into the workforce and completing the rest of the 120 while working, which gives them a statistical advantage against peers going into entry-level BSN programs by, an average of probably $85,000 in modern day entry-level salary that they're making while their counterparts are still in school. Right. So our students are getting a big advantage to entering the workforce early.
Now, and I've been out of the loop for a little while, so I don't know how things are done currently, and you will tell me. But I know that getting into the program used to be very competitive. There were only so many spots.
Right.
And even though students had what was the published acceptable GPA, it didn't guarantee them a spot because there could be, 40 higher GPAs ahead of them.
Right.
So where is it now? I mean, how competitive? Is it still competitive?
So I'll back your question up one step to kind of bring it back full circle of how Atrium Health Floyd and our other hospital partners really came to the table with critical questions of, we know you produce X number of nurses. What is your need? Is it space? Is it faculty? Is it, what is the need that we can make it X plus 20, X plus 40, X plus 60 eventually? And, we had a list of needs that range from, we know that nursing faculty is at a greater shortage than nurses are. We know that, there's a large disparity between a clinical nurse and what you could make there and what a nursing faculty could make here. And so, we came with a list of asks that would, eliminate some of these gaps, be it ranging from physical space to clinical placements to, allowing our faculty to have a stipend that could increase the amount of money that they're making being a nurse faculty, endowing a faculty line, and providing more nurses because, we are constrained by the Georgia Board of Nursing for the amount of nurses we can produce with one faculty member. And so going back to your, original question of how competitive it has always been competitive through the lineage of all nursing programs. But what our hopes are is in our expansion of nursing and our offering of seats that we can lessen some of that competitive nature, because we do have a minimum that of course you have to meet because you are saving lives. You do want,
Yes.
We don't want somebody who is, so there is still that line to hold, but if I can offer 40 more seats to those that are meeting the requirement but just couldn't get in because of the competitive nature, we were turning them away to other schools.
Right.
But maybe not even another school. They just didn't then pursue nursing. And so the hope is with more seats available and more money coming in to provide more seats, that on the backside of that, it does lessen the competitive nature of it. Doesn't make the nursing program any easier, I'll tell you that. But it does allow for more nurses on the other side.
So with Atrium's help, the program's growing.
Absolutely.
We're coming up on our break, and when we come back, I will speak more with Dr. Jellum about all of the other areas in health sciences at Georgia Highlands. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Access to me means I get to explore and define myself.
Access? That allows me to follow my passion.
For me, it means I get to do what I've always dreamed of doing, helping people.
Access to me means I'm the first one in my family to come to college. Sé el primero.
Welcome back to Community Watch. I'm talking with Dr. Lisa Jellum, who is the Dean of the Atrium Floyd.
Atrium Health Floyd.
Health Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Atrium Health Floyd School of Health Sciences. It's going to take more practice.
Yeah.
Well, we have talked mainly about nursing
Mm-hmm.
and how the Atrium partnership has helped there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's a lot more to your school
Yep.
of health sciences in addition to nursing. And you mentioned dental hygiene, so let's go there next.
Yep.
Dental hygiene has similarly grown into a bachelor's program.
Yep.
And is it for similar reasons?
Very similar reasons, and so everyone touts the nursing shortage. Little known fact is that we're in an extreme dental hygienist shortage as well. And so this year actually incepts the first time that our dental hygiene program has grown. So we grew roughly about 20%, and so this is the first time we've offered that expanded amount of seating. And that's really important for the Northwest Georgia area because we are really the only service for producing dental hygienists in the corridor 75 north to 20. And so the community itself relies on our program to produce dental hygienists. And so our dental hygiene students have about 7 job offers each.
My goodness.
It's every day I keep joking to them, either department, I just need to become one of these things. And so, yes, their bachelor's degree has been around for about 7 years. It is a completion program, so very similar to the RN to BSN. This is an RDH to Bachelor of Dental Hygiene. So it allows our students to have a glimpse into what leadership within dental hygiene would look like, budgetary, HR, theory of health, evolution, looking at the research side of the actual practice. And so that is a highly popular program. And through kind of the completion programs came the inception of our Bachelor of Health Science, because you were here long enough to know, with these highly competitive programs, we would have a large population of student body that were coming to Georgia Highlands to become that thing. And if they were turned down to get into the thing, there was really nothing left on the table for them to take. And so some people would take a year off, and we all know what happens when you take a year off, or we would turn them away to a different school. And so the original inception of the Bachelor of Health Science was, we'll just take all these people that have not gotten into the school or need maybe a longer path to get into nursing or dental hygiene, and we'll allow them to take all these credits that go towards the completion. So that was a very prudent approach for us to get people not just graduating with the associate degree in dental hygiene or nursing, but they're graduating with the associate of dental hygiene and nursing and 30 or 40 credits towards the bachelor's degree. So now when they graduate, they're very, very close to the shore on getting a bachelor's degree. In fact, this year, we will have an associate level dental hygienist that is also going to be graduating with their bachelor's degree. Yeah. So that was the point of the Bachelor of Health Science. Let's just get them, all these ability to take the things. And we now have a little over 400 students in the Bachelor of Health Science, because the thing we didn't quite think about was all these really smart students that want to become doctors, all these really smart students that want to become physical therapists and occupational therapists, and all of the things, they don't want student loan debt, and they rationalize that going to medical school can cost on the upwards of $300,000 to $400,000. And so by going to Georgia Highlands and completing my Bachelor of Health Science, I can complete all the prerequisites to go to these graduate schools. I'm just as competitive as a student that graduates from any of the other university system schools. And so we had a huge influx of students that are just prudently taking courses to get into medical school, or PT, OT, all of the T's. And so that was something we thought could happen, but I don't know if we quite had rationalized that sitting at the table picking out courses and at the original inception of the Bachelor of Health Science.
Right.
We're now in a place where, there's 50 pre-med students. There's a lot of students using the Bachelor of Health Science as an avenue to get into the Medical College of Georgia and to get into our medical and our dental and our OT, PT schools in the state. And that's something that, it is unreal to talk to some of these students on why they selected Georgia Highlands. And I'm so proud for the fact that, our next generation of folks moving into these they're really smart.
Well, it's, and I know that finances are a big concern, especially for students going into those areas.
Mm-hmm.
But if the quality wasn't there, it would not be a good deal.
Right.
So I know that's going into their thinking. You can't deny the high quality of the nursing and dental hygiene histories and current programs.
Well, and that's the thing that people on the outside don't see is that our biology, our English faculty, our faculty that have been teaching the prerequisites to these programs also have to be as equally, if not more high quality than the program itself, because this is preparing our student to get into the program. And so our anatomy and physiology, I would say, stands against all other anatomies in the whole wide world. Those students are prepared when you're talking, they took Anatomy 1 and 2 at Georgia Highlands versus somebody took it, insert another school, because when they get into our nursing and dental hygiene programs, there's no question whether or not they know their stuff. They write well, they can do math, they can, and so that's a testament to the entire school being very high quality. And so sometimes it takes those shiny objects to bring out the good in the rest of the school, but the nursing and dental hygiene programs stand on the shoulders of the rest of the school because they also have to step up to a level that allows our students to pass those boards at such high rates.
Yeah. All right, so you've got what is becoming a massive area thanks to the bachelor's program in health science.
Mm-hmm.
So in that health science range,
Mm-hmm.
what are the trends that you're seeing? What are the areas that students are focusing in on? Or
So very cliche,
Yeah.
right? We, in that world, I'm an exercise physiologist by trade. I came to Georgia Highlands, and I've been teaching in what we were calling at that point the physical education department. And exercise science is still huge. Physical therapy and occupational therapy is a really big landing spot for lots of our high school athletes. If they're not going to college for the thing, still want to be involved in sports in one way or the other. And the other part of the Bachelor of Health Science that we're seeing a huge influx are those that are taking the associate degree in sports management, are getting into the bachelor's degree of health science and minoring in sports management because they want to be involved, whether it be the Braves or a local CrossFit gym. That world does collide between knowing the business side, knowing the actual body side, the anatomy and physiology, as well as knowing the side where I have to market, I have to write, I have to have a LinkedIn post, I have to have the things. And so that world is marrying really well between students that wanted to do something like a CrossFit gym, or somebody who wants to work for the Rome Braves. I guess we're calling it the Rome Baseball Club at this point.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. But the Rome baseball facility down the road, our students are getting internship opportunities at these really large entities because of the geographical location we sit, which is that's another whole arm of the Bachelor of Health Science that, once again, we didn't predict coming.
Yeah. So exercise science, are there, so someone in the Bachelor's of Health Science, which is the larger bachelor's program, what are the associate degrees that are offered there?
So we have
heading in that direction?
We have 6 of them. So we have recreation administration, which those are our typical youth sport, ranging from youth sport, refereeing, that kind of a thing, all the way to park ranger, because the trailhead and the, hiking the trail, all of that geographical stuff falls under recreation administration. Our sports management, our health professions, which is our second largest pathway at the school. There's around 900 students in the health professions pathway, right? Exercise science, and then our what we'll call our pre-nursing, pre-dental hygiene, which falls kind of under that health professions, but that world kind of marries together for the bachelor's degree in health science. So you can see that there's a large pipeline that I'm proud that we're keeping them here there.
All right, so recreation administration, sport management. What am I forgetting?
Exercise science.
Exercise science. I wonder, obviously, with the numbers that you're telling me, students have found these programs, but I wonder if the community is even aware that we have those.
Yeah, welcome to. So, the viewers won't know this, but I was 20 minutes late because of, talking to, high school systems over in the Bartow area. Right. That is now my job, is to get out there and start screaming from the mountaintops of, what it is that we have to offer here. Because that's, for my first 15 years at Georgia Highlands, we just would say that we had the thing, but then we'd send them on to the other school. Yeah. We've switched our narrative completely to
stay here.
There's no reason to leave.
No reason to go anywhere.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with the same cool tools that any other school has, and so we're growing our exercise science lab. We've gotten some things. We did a health fair earlier in the year as part of Dr. Hobbs' weeks of service. And so we brought all of our cool tools that the hospital was playing with and our students were getting to, play with. We had about 13 Bachelor of Health Science volunteers that came and volunteered that week to play with all the cool, things that we have that as we continue to grow that program, lab space and all of those things are on the next, level and horizon to get our students to bring in local athletes to test them and things that other institutions, so that we can prepare them for graduate school in all those areas as well.
And I'm sure it doesn't hurt that Georgia Highlands has a pretty successful athletic program as well. So that all fits together very nicely.
It does.
And so, see, you have solved your travel issue just by being on this show.
That's right.
And telling the story on the show, you don't have to go anywhere else.
That's it.
This is all the word that you need.
I'll make sure
it's going
it's
to be out there now.
That's it.
Well, we have about 1 minute left. For students who are interested in either applying or finding out more about these different programs, where's the best place for them to, what should they do?
So I would encourage them to go to our landing page. And our landing page, we have done a very good job of organizing now basically buckets that you can click onto and, kind of learn more information about the thing, whether that be nursing, dental hygiene, going to physical therapy school. And at the bottom of every one of those pages is basically an inquiry that they can fill out, put their name in, and somebody contacts them in a very short turnaround. I have a great team that surrounds me that fields phone calls all day long, ranging from, I want to be the trainer that runs out on the field to save somebody, to how do I, what grade do I need in Anatomy 2 to get into nursing? So my team is amazing. They're very, very student and customer service oriented. And I promise when you reach out, there's somebody that reaches back out.
So they would go to highlands.edu and then look for
the health sciences.
Health sciences.
Yep. And that page will direct them to wherever they need to go.
All right. Well, Dr. Jellum, Dean of the Atrium Health Floyd School of Health Sciences, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, very happy. I learned a lot today.
That's good.
And Thank you for being with us on Community Watch. We will see you next time. Bye now.